Hey, welcome back to the Man Cave Workshop, and thank you for joining me again. Okay, so we've got this Hacker Autocrat out of its chassis. Been having a look over it, and these caps, they're definitely going to need replacing. And inside it, if you look, I've took there's just there's like a shielded cover that goes over this section here. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 AF117 transistors in there. And I've been having a play about with it, and these 3 here seem to be behaving really well. So it's working, but this one here, the one that I had to tap to get the radio going, can be a little bit temperamental. It's probably going to prove me wrong now, isn't it? And work perfectly well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to pull this one out, and I'm going to do a process that I've shown before. And if you're familiar with radios like this, an AF117, it's called zapping. And I thought I'd just pull this one out to show you how I do it. It's all based on the same principle, but people go about it different ways. So what I'll do now is pull this AF117 out, and we'll have a look at it. Okay. So, okay, we've got to just ignore that top bit of this chart. We've got this AF117 out. I have been through this before, and it is covered on YouTube quite a lot. Now, the pin out for this is there's like three legs together, and then there's a bit of a gap, and then there's a 4th leg. Now, the 4th leg is the collector. Then next to that, at the end of the 3, is the shield. And then we've got the base that in this instance has got a green insulating wire on it, and then we've got the emitter on the end. Now what we want to do is to put a charge from we want to join the emitter, base and collector together, and then we want to put a charge across the shield to burn off any tin whiskers in here that might be shorting. I'm just going to pause while I get stuff together to show you how I do that. Now, this is the rig that I use. Now, if you're going to do this at home yourselves, you do this totally at your own risk. I don't want this video being referred to as gospel, because, like I say, I'm just a guy who does this in my man cave just for fun. I'm not electronically trained or anything. I've just done research to work out how to do this. So I've got these two 220 UF 100 volt caps here, the electrolytic caps, and I've just popped them in this vise just to hold them steady. Now I've got a positive lead here, a negative here, and then I've got the negative positive. So what I'm going to do, I'll just put a red test lead on the positive there, and a black test lead on the negative there. Now the reason I do this is because I've only got a 30 volt DC power supply, and really I want to be putting about 50-60 volts through this in a quick hit to clear all the tin whiskers off it. So what I'm going to do is, I've got at the end of here, this is my unit, I've got 30 volts waiting. I'm going to get another test lead to connect these up from the negative to the positive there, but I'm not going to connect them yet because I want to charge them individually, and then when I connect them together, hopefully we will have around 50-60 volts sat there. This is just a voltmeter, so you can see what's going on. This is just for demonstration. I'll pop them on, and if we prop that meter up a little bit, then you can see it better. I hope that's all in shot. Right, so I'm going to charge them individually and then connect them, and we should be seeing on here around 50 to 60 volts. And you have to you cannot put these on the wrong way round, because these will blow up, these caps, if you get the charging them going the wrong way. So let's pop the negative on this one and the positive on that one, and you see a bit of a spark there, it's charging up. And we'll do the same to this one. It always makes me jump, that. Let's charge that one up, and then let's connect them together and see what we're seeing there. So there we go, we're seeing 52 volts and it's dropping slowly. So that'll be the end of these two leads. If I touch these together, a bit of a spark, it just takes all the charge out of them. So that's how I do it. I'm not saying it's the right way, and I do it that way because I've only got a 30 volt DC power supply. So I'm going to get this all set up again, and well, actually we'll do this now. What we want to do is pull that shield or ground out of the way, and we want to connect these together. Now you can solder these, but what I've found is one of these test leads, they've got like little claws in the end, and on these there's actually 3 divisions, so I can sort of just get them bunched together and get them all in them divisions. And then what I'll do, I'll charge these again, and I just want to be just touching that shield or ground lead there to melt off any tin whiskers inside it. It's just the quickest, easiest way I found of doing it. You've got to be careful that you haven't got any of these legs touching each other, because when you hit it with that volts, and this can happen, it will blow the transistor completely. It'd be useless then if you do this wrong. Okay, so I'm going to charge up, and then we'll hit it with the 52 volts or whatever it was. Okay, that's it. We've got the 52 volts there, and I'm just going to touch that shield now out of shot. And literally that's it. That's all you do. That will be melting off any whiskers in there if there's any shorts at all left. And what I like to do is just tap it a little bit, just with the end of the screwdriver, just to release any whiskers while it's got the volt in it. Turn it round the other way, tap it the other way, and hopefully that's it. What you can do now is just get your meter. Now let's not forget to get rid of the voltage that's left on there in them capacitors. So I'm just shorting them out to release all the voltage out of them. What you can do is get your meter now and set it onto I set it onto a continuity test. It's basic, but if there are any shorts, so let's show you the meter there. Press the test. So if there's any shorts, we'll hear a beep like that. So let's connect the shield wire again, and let's see if we've got any shorts. And as you can hear, there's no shorts whatsoever. So I'm happy with that. I'm happy with this method. It might be a bit basic compared with what other people do. I find it works. So I'm going to get this back in the set now. Okay. This is worth noting. One of the nice things that Hacker do is they mark the board. So you see there we've got emitter, base, shield and collector all marked up, so you can't really get, you see it in focus? You can't really get the transistor in the wrong way unless you really wanted to. It's nice of Hacker to do that. Makes them a pleasure to work on. Right, let's get it back in. Okay, that's our little AF117 back in place. This one, it's been zapped, so that shouldn't give any more problems to the set. What I'm going to do next is change the electrolytic capacitors. It's a thing. It just, on a set this old, it needs doing really, because all these are going to be out of spec. And shown it in videos in the past, and I'm just going to get on and do it. And then the next time you see this main board and amp board, it will have had all its electrolytic capacitors all replaced with new ones. Then we'll have a quick look at it, have a test, see if it still works, see if we've broken it, and if it does, we'll stick that on one side, and we'll get onto the case of this one, which I'm quite interested in. We are going to have to take the top off here because there's a bit of a ding in the woof woof dog barking there, and we'll see if we can straighten that out. Okay, I'll get on and recap it. So I thought while I'm at it, I might as well check all transistors, because I did a test after zapping the first one and the radio was intermittent. So this is the AF117 from this part of the board here, and I'm just doing a continuity test. So if you look, when there's continuity, we get that sound. So that clip is onto the shield. So you see this continuity to the shield. So on, I don't know, I can't remember it's either base emitter collector. So there's no continuity there, no short there, no short there, but on this one, there's a short in this transistor. So this is the reason we need to zap them, because it's grown whiskers inside and we need to melt them off. So I just thought I'd show you that bit anyway. I'll get on and zap the rest of them. Okay, that's the let's get you in here, then you can see. That's the main board done. We've zapped all 4 AF117s. There's only, well, as far as I can see, there's only 2 capacitors in this. That one up there was a 300, and then there's one here. That was a 40, so I've popped a 47 in there. Yeah, they... The reason the radio was on and off is they all had shorts. Every single AF117 had shorts on it. Let's just have a look at the other side of the board so you can see. Try and keep it neat. I did struggle. So there's one, there's the other. I did struggle to get at this one and this one. So what I did, I just took out this tropical capacitor there, and then that gives you access to that one easy, and then I just dropped out this resistor here, and that gives you a lot more easy access to this. So what we're going to do before we forget is pop it back on the shield, and it should be a much more reliable radio now, this one. Now all that's done, I'm not touching them cores. In fact, will the shield go back on now? It's a bit tight there. Have I lifted anything? Oh, it is a bit tight, that. But she's back on. There we go. Let's get the screw back in place. And what I'm going to do next is... Oh, I'll just pop these caps on the tester. Have I got that the right way around? Is that where it goes? I think so. It's all nice and snug, that. Just pop these on the tester. This one was... is it an Alka mode? No, it's a... Is it a TCC? What was it? Yeah, Alka mode. Thought it was. And it should have been 300. So let's pop it on here. And as you can see, that one's reading 625, so that's over double what it should be. And where's that other little one? This one was supposed to be a 40. I did put a 47 in, and we've got 91. So well worth changing them. Well worth changing them. So next up, what I'm going to do is, you've seen me do these before, I'm just going to do a full recap on this amp board. I tell you what, I don't know if it shows up, but are we in focus? This amp board is absolutely filthy. So I'm just going to get a soft brush, and before we start going crazy with it and changing all its components, we give it a brush down. Yeah, I'll just get on and change these again. there's loads of videos about changing electrolytics on amp boards. What I did notice with this one is this transistor here. Now I've asked a few of the guys. Well, I've asked a guy called Radio Cruncher this question. It just looks out of place to me. But I have been told that they did start using these on this particular amp board at some point. So yeah, it's all original. Looks okay. Am I babbling on? Yeah. Right, I'm going to get on and recap this this amp board. Okay. So there you go. By the magic of YouTube, one recapped amp board. These are all the there's 9 capacitors all in all that came out of this set. So that's what we've done. We've zapped all 4 AF117s and we've recapped the amp board. Now there is a confession. One of the trays has lifted here, so I've just bridged across there for that cap. But apart from that, this should be a much more reliable radio now. And that just about wraps up this video. And I hope you join me next time while we'll be doing the cosmetic work on this set. So, as always, thank you for watching. And, oh, by the way, if you do leave any comments, I do read all the comments. I sometimes don't reply to the comments unless there's a specific question in there. But I do read every single comment that's made on these videos, so thank you very much for that. Be good to each other, and I will catch you next time.